Joe Biden has won the 2020 United States presidential elections. Biden is set to take oath in January 2021. However, current President Trump has refused to acknowledge Biden's victory. Trump is the 45th president of the USA. Prior to him, out of the 44 presidents, 35 willingly conceded power to their successor after they lost an election, while some chose not to run again after their 2-year tenure. The other 8 presidents died and 1 quit. There were no issues with the last 44 presidents. In US history, Trump is the first president who has refused to concede and vacate the White House. So what happens in the event that Trump refuses to concede and leave the White House? Let me tell you. This is the sign for American Constitution, like we have a sign for the Indian Constitution. According to the US Constitution, Trump will automatically stop being the president from 20th January. Georgetown Law professor Rosa Brooks said, "If Biden is formally certified as the winner in the US Congress on January 6, he will be the next president whether Trump concedes or not." One former US official and 2 experts said, if Trump refuses to vacate the White House, then the Secret Service, which is the president's official guards, would physically remove him. Additionally, there is no rule in the US Constitution that can extend a president's tenure. If no president has been chosen by January 20, 2021, then as per the Constitution, Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, will become the president. Trump has alleged fraud. He has filed 7 lawsuits in various American states, challenging the results of the vote count, and has refused to accept his defeat. Since the counting of the votes began, Trump maintained that he would approach the Supreme Court over the fraudulent counting. What happens if Trump approaches the Supreme Court? If Trump approaches the Supreme Court, it is possible that the 9 judges of the Apex Court may favor Trump. This is because 3 out of the 9 judges were elected by Trump. These judges may support Trump, which may influence the decision of the other judges as well. If the Supreme Court supports Trump's claims to presidency, and if the Congress certifies Biden as the president, then this would happen for the first time in history. No one knows what will happen next. Whenever any president loses an election, he concedes. This allows the new president to smoothly transition and assume office. Donald Trump's refusal to leave the White House despite Biden's apparent victory is making the transition difficult amid the COVID-19 pandemic and the horrible state of the US economy. However, Biden has begun the informal work of building his team. Biden will soon announce his new White House officials despite Trump's stubbornness. This will ensure that Biden saves time later. Biden will also hold a meeting to discuss the coronavirus situation on 9th November 2020.